Hey guys, Danny here. I hope you're all doing well. Today we're looking at a tablet. This is actually one of the first tablets I reviewed on my channel. So I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to tablets, but hopefully I can share my experience with you and give you an idea of what this product is able to offer if you're thinking of picking it up. As always, this product was sent to me for review. You can find a link down in the description if you want to pick it up. And let me just run you through some of the specs. This has a 10.1 inch screen. It's using a octa-core 1.6 GHz CPU. It has 3 GB of DDR3 RAM, 32 GB of internal storage. It's using 5G Wi-Fi, and it is also GMS certified, so it can run Google services and you can use lots of different apps such as Netflix. At the time of filming this review, the tablet is currently selling on Amazon for £140 with a £20 off voucher. So you can pick this up for about £120 at the moment, which I think is quite a competitive price. So first of all, I want to talk about the display, which is obviously one of the most important features as it's what you're always looking at. The device is using a IPS display, which is 1200 by 1920 pixels. So you're able to watch videos on YouTube in full HD. For the price that this device is selling for, I think the screen is actually quite a strong selling point of this device, but it obviously does have its weak points when you consider the budget price that this is being sold for, and the two obvious ones are the amount of glare that you get from the screen and also how poorly it performs in bright sunlight. So if you're looking to use this outside, you're not really going to have a great experience. Another reminder of this product's low price would be its bottom firing speakers, which lack quality, depth, and sometimes don't really go as loud as I would like them to. They're not terrible, they're definitely usable, and of course you can use headphones using the audio jack or Bluetooth headphones, which I opted to do. But if you're someone who must have good quality speakers, this device definitely isn't going to be for you. A little bit more premium looking, especially when you consider the price these are selling for. You do of course get your charging cable, which I'm pleased to report is USB-C, and you also get some spare earbuds that are... While we are talking about the hardware, let's take a look at the buttons we have. So there's a power button, you have a volume rocker, a reset hole, and also your audio jack on the side at the top there. On the back, there's an 8 megapixel camera with a flash. There's also a 5 megapixel camera on the front. Under this plastic cover on the back, you can also expand the storage by up to 128 gigabytes. I have to say, I'm not a fan of this little cover. It does feel quite cheap and very plasticky. Doesn't feel like it would hold up too well, but it didn't cause me any issues at the time. And I'm also pleased to report this has a USB-C slot, which is always nice to see. The device is running Android version 9, which is a little bit outdated now when version 11 comes out, which isn't too far away. But using this version was a nice experience. It was very easy to transfer over all of my data and set up my accounts, so I don't think you'll have any problems either. Out of the box, the UI elements are very small, but Google has a built-in method which can get around this. If you go into the settings and change the display size to the second to largest setting, this will make all of the elements on screen bigger and just makes the tablet a lot more easier and concise to use, as when the UI elements are really small, they're just a little bit harder to press and navigate around. So if you do this, it'll make it a lot more enjoyable to use. I may have missed it, but I couldn't actually see what Bluetooth version this product is using based on the listing. But I'm assuming it's not version 5, as I was getting pretty poor range when using my Bluetooth headphones, but they're perfectly fine when you use them at close range and you're sitting close to the device. Let's talk about my gaming experience. So I tested 3 different games: Asphalt 8, Call of Duty Mobile, and PUBG Mobile. All of the games were playable. PUBG probably performed the worst with the occasional hiccup, but again, it was playable and I think you would have a decent gaming experience. One thing I would recommend though, if you're playing on a large tablet, is you get yourself some sort of Bluetooth controller, or you can even plug in USB controllers and they work fine as long as you have the right port, but you can get converters also. I just used the on-screen controls, which made the experience a little bit less enjoyable, but it was overall quite a good experience. You'll be pleased to know that I had no problems running Netflix, and all of the content seemed to play in HD, so that's always a nice surprise, as sometimes Chinese manufacturers don't get proper certification for their device and you're not able to use Netflix and certain other services. I was pleasantly surprised by the overall performance and snappiness of the interface. It's obviously not going to compete with any flagship devices, but for the price I thought it was pretty respectable. I was, however, a little bit disappointed with the battery performance, as I was only able to get about 5.5 hours of screen on time with mainly video playback. Using gaming I was getting a little bit less. Here are some samples from the rear facing camera, then I'll show you a video clip as well, and then I'll show you some samples from the front facing camera. Now with the right lighting conditions, the rear facing camera can get some okay photos. Anything that is low light, you're not really going to get good results at all, but for the price, it's not too bad, I suppose. The front-facing 5-megapixel camera, on the other hand, doesn't really produce selfies that I would ever use. As you can see, they make you look pretty terrible, but it's there if you want to use it. Let's take a look at how the video performs. Okay, so I wanted to do a little video test using the front-facing camera, in case any of you want to use this for FaceTiming or maybe some video calls using Skype or something like that. And this will give you a good indication of what this will be like in a normal environment. So I'm just in my room at the moment, and the lighting conditions are pretty average as what you'd expect if you were just doing a FaceTime call. So it's not ideal for camera work, but it will give you an idea of what sort of quality you'd get from the front facing camera in a normal environment. If you was in a brighter room, you may get a little better results, but looking at the on screen, it's not looking great. It looks okay for, you know, like webcam sort of quality, but you're not really going to be getting a great deal of quality and depth out of the front camera. By this point you may be getting the impression that I don't like this product, but that's not the case. I think it has some pluses and minuses, but for the price that this is being offered for, if you can get this on a deal or at the right time, I definitely think this is worth picking up if you're looking for a tablet, if you bear in mind some of the weak points that I've shown. And that brings us to the end of the review. My final thoughts on this product are, if you are thinking of picking it up, I think you should do so if you can get it for the right price. And as always, if you'd like to pick it up, you can find a link down in the description, which is worth checking out, as sometimes I'm given coupon codes from the supplier, which I will put down there for you. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing for more videos like this one. And of course, I will see you in the next one.